All right, we're back live here in Devil's Lake.
Catch that fish,
I
Tanner.
know. I'm here with Johnnie Candle.
Forget about me. Catch that fish.
We got a fish on the screen, and it's being a finicky little guy. So, but I don't really want to grab that other fish in the bucket right now while that guy's over there. But let's see what we can get going here. So, in the last hour, we did find a couple more fish. Let's get this guy out here and show everyone watching. I'm not going to be able to do that with just one hand. We managed to find ourselves a pretty 16-inch walleye right here. This was a nice fish. And then we had another walleye too. A little bit smaller, but good keeper. So we're finding a few fish here. We're sticking it out. Johnny, you've been a guide in Devil's Lake for how many years now?
I moved here in the year 2000, so this is year 19 coming up. 18 years on the lake. It's been quite a ride, dealing with rising water, now falling water, and then rising water, and it might fall again, and you never really know. One of the fun parts, though, is like fishing a brand new lake every year.
Yep.
Because you don't know what's going to happen over the winter.
And, you know, Devil's Lake, we have a lot of guides around here, winters, open water fishing. I know you don't do any winter fishing, you do just strictly open water. And it's kind of why I have you here today. We can talk a little open water fishing, but a lot of our winter guides are booked up, so trying to get them to come in the house today would be like pulling teeth from people because they got a lot of stuff on their plate right now.
Oh, that's for sure, that's for sure. And you know, when you come to a body of water like Devil's Lake, at its peak, over 200,000 acres of fishable water. We're down a little bit now, but we're still flirting with that 140, 150.
Yep.
That's a lot of acres, especially through an 8-inch hole, right? I mean, honestly, ice fishing blows my mind that you come out here and you poke 4 holes in the ice and you expect to catch limits of fish through an 8-inch hole.
Just through that.
It's not like you can troll from here to there to there. You're fishing an 8-inch circle.
Yep.
If you've never been here before, why wouldn't you take the shortcut, pay a couple $100 and have an expert, someone that can take you right to a spot that's been productive traditionally or been productive the day before, show you on a map, here's different areas that hold fish traditionally. There's no guarantees, Tanner. We all know that. You can go to your favorite spot 2 days in a row and catch them like mad one day and nothing the next.
Fishing's fishing.
But you spend how much money to get here, how much money in an ATV and an ice house and your sonar units and your heaters and your rods and your reels, and then you skimp out on $150 or $175 to have an expert take you out and show you right where to go fish. It makes no sense to me.
And when I travel to a lot of places, I like to just, you know, enjoy it and have someone else kind of do the work. And sometimes when you're out there and bouncing around and you get frustrated, it happens. And it's the way it just takes a lot more of that frustration out of it, and the enjoyment level can be that much better.
Exactly. Do it for one day, maybe 2, and then you look at the list of guide services we have in Devil's Lake. They're some of the most famous ice fishing guides on the planet. You got the Perch Patrol with Zippy and his gang. We've got Bry's Guide Service. We've got a few others. They're all listed on the Chamber. Yeah, Perch Eyes out on the west end, McQuaid's. They're all listed on the Chamber of Commerce website, but these guys are not just ho-hum, oh, I guide in the summer and then I try to fill in the winter. Some of these guide services are busier in the winter months than they are in the summer months. And they're really, really good at what they do. That's part of why I don't do it. I'm busy traveling, sports shows, trade shows, all that kind of thing. I'm only home 2 or 3 days a week in the winter months. And it's not fair for me to charge for a service when I'm only on the water a couple days a week. These guys have groups 6, 8, 10 guides. They're out every day.
And scouting. And just...
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. They cover the water incredibly well. They're very efficient. They use the best equipment. And again, I believe it's $150, $175 a person.
Ballpark in that
depending on the kind of package. What a lesson. What a learning experience, and not overly expensive.
Oh, exactly. I do have another giveaway here. Thank you, Ed Henry. We were watching on Lake of the Woods, and I saw that you were excited we were giving some stuff away. So we have another thing here to give away. This is a cool little Devil's Lake fishing towel, which is handy when you're ice fishing, your hands get cold. I'm going to give this away to the first person that can tell me what Johnny is the president of here in Devil's Lake.
A lot of people have accused me of being president of a lot of things, Tanner, but there's really only one thing that I'm president of.
And it's a really cool organization that you are.
It is. It's a good time. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Where are the fish, though, Tanner? That's what we got to figure out.
You know, I had that mark. It got me excited. Like you said, some days you just wonder how you pop a couple holes and you catch some fish and you come back the next day and it's fishing. I was talking to a guy earlier today and we were talking about it's just like golf. You're always out there for that one day. You're searching for the big bite, or you get that one hit on your golf club, and you're not going to always do that every time you go out. But you're not going to let it deter you from going out. I mean,
well, we've had some interesting stuff going on here weather-wise too. Yesterday, I got my truck to drive to town for lunch, and at noon it said 32 degrees. The day before at noon it said minus 20 something.
Yep.
So we've had a lot of interesting things. I don't know about you personally, but my take, in the winter months, the fish seem to adapt or change quicker to weather than they do in the summertime.
I would agree.
When you have that brutal cold, shuts them right off, you would think, oh, wow, beautiful sunny day, they're going to bite like mad. And then they do bite, but for a short window, and then the weather changes and shuts them right back down again. It gets really tricky.
It does. And I had a first-hand experience of that last week, I should say. Christmas Day, my dad and I took off for about 2 hours in the evening, and we had this blizzard coming in, and we just kind of had that inkling of, hey, nasty weather coming in, the front's coming, it's really going to change the barometer and everything. So we went out, and it was a feeding frenzy for about 2 hours there right before dark. And I would have to agree that weather change, if you can hit those on the front end of a big front coming in, you're in for a wild ride. And sometimes you don't always time it perfect, but you just work what Mother Nature throws you and enjoy it as much as you can.
Right. One nice thing though about weather like today, especially on a body of water like Devil's Lake, and I realize we're not able to do it because we're going live and we've got some other agenda items to take care of today than just sitting in one spot or then moving around and catching a bunch of fish. Although we do want to beat Joe pretty bad.
So I mean,
what a beautiful day if you were here with yourself or a partner to run and gun or troll on the ice. A lot of guys like to call it. You could very easily fish without a house right now. I'm sitting here kind of sweating with too much clothes right on. Now. And these are the kind of days that guys just drool over on Devil's Lake. Our fish are not known to sit in one spot for day after day after day after day. Lake of the Woods that we're competing against, I've fished there before too. You set a fish house out in that mud basin and it sits there for 3 months, and you go out there and fish move around constantly. Our fish aren't like that. They might be on this piece of structure one day, they might be a half a mile away the next day, they might be in the mud the next day. A day like today, man, throw a hat on, a light pair of gloves, grab a battery-powered auger, and take off running and gunning and maybe drill 20 or 30 holes and see what you can find.
And a day like today, like I said, this is Walleye Wars, so we're concentrating on walleyes, but with this sunlight, this is what we really probably should be out drilling holes for, is this perch. This is what everyone comes to Devil's Lake for, the world-class jumbo perch. Not a lot of places where you get that opportunity to possibly pull in a 15-inch perch that weighs 2 to 3 pounds, and, I don't know a guy that doesn't, or a woman that doesn't enjoy catching big fish.
Oh, yeah.
We have a winner for the president question. Doug Darling, Lake Region Anglers Association.
That is correct. Way to go.
Congrats,
President Doug Darling from the Lake Region State College.
So that kind of leads us into the Lake Region Anglers and what they do for our community here in Devil's Lake.
Yeah, Lake Region Anglers been around since the 70s, quite a while. I've been president now, I don't know, I missed a meeting once about 6 years ago, and somebody voted me president, and I can't get out of it. I'm kind of stuck there. But I love every minute of it. Well, we've got nearly 200 members. We do have a Facebook page, Lake Region Anglers, on Facebook. Just go look it up there. If you fish the Devil's Lake area, it's an organization you should be involved with. Whether you attend meetings or come to our outings is another thing, but it's $20 for a family membership. And we do a lot for the Lake Region. There's no doubt about it. Latest jewel in the crown are the 3 handicap accessible fishing piers that we worked with the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Devil's Lake, the State Game and Fish, the counties around the lake were all involved. And what we did is applied for a large grant. I think the total amount spent approached $700,000, if I'm not mistaken. We got a large grant. The different entities threw the extra money in because it's all matching funds. A lot of manpower. A lot of days, yourself, myself, Susie, those of you that know the chamber, even came out and pounded some nails and dug some holes and put some pilings in. But we built 3 shore fishing piers that are all ADA certified, so they meet the American Disabilities Act for slopes and resting spots and paved parking and vaulted toilets, and they're in great fishing spots all around the lake. There's times of the year where you will catch more fish from these fishing piers than you will from a boat. And they're all free to the public to use because of groups like ours and yours and the people who put their time into.
Kind of makes me want to have a shore fishing little competition with Joe at Lake.
Yeah, Joe. Hey, are you listening, Joe? Let's have a shore fishing contest this spring. Hey, let's do it the 1st of May. Ooh. When Joe can't even fish because we don't have a closed season. You can come here year round. What do you think about that, Joe Henry? No closed season here. Uh-oh. We got something happening here.
We just do a little smack talk and you get a fish to show up.
Well, showing up doesn't win any prizes.
We just got real quiet.
It doesn't win any prizes. Tanner, come on.
Oh, here we go. Shoot.
Mine left.
He's left my screen too.
That's not good.
But
yeah, we have a phenomenal club. Some other things we do, we provide volunteers for all the fishing tournaments that we host on Devil's Lake. Not only do they help on tournament days by carrying baskets and organizing boat launches and all that, but we clean all the fish from the tournaments because in North Dakota, between June 15th and September 15th, our Game and Fish does not allow us to release fish back to the lake. So we clean all those fish as a club. Gold Daddy's Meats in town lets us store them in a meat locker free of charge. Thank you very much. If you want a barbecue, make sure you stop and visit Gold Dad's. But then in late August or early September, depending on the corn harvest, we have a community fish fry and corn feed that the Lake Region Anglers and the Chamber of Commerce put on. You want to talk about a good time. Probably 25, 30 members of our organization and yours get together. We cook all the corn, we fry all the fish, and we get to watch between 600 and 800 community members come in and just devour it. I mean, there's pieces flying in the air and food everywhere, and it's amazing. But what a way to enjoy the resource. Tournaments take a hard knock sometimes for taking, and not giving back, but we found a way as a community and a club to take those resources and share them with folks that may not ever get to eat a meal of fish from Devil's Lake. So that's another thing that we do every year. We have a lot of youth events. We have a lot of outings. And again, the easiest way to find all that information is on our Facebook page at Lake Region Anglers on Facebook. You can learn all about us, but it's a good time. It's a great club.
And they help with our Lake Access Committee, which is kind of a unique organization we have there too, because we have 8 or 9, I think, public boat ramps where getting on in the winter, we clear, I think it's like 5 or 6 of them, so access onto the lake is free on those spots, and we don't necessarily have roads plowed, but at least you have access to get on and a starting point. And then in the summer, those boat ramps are open for free use too, so it's just kind of a unique thing we have here that accommodates people, and you don't have to pay a $15 launch fee. I mean, there is places where you'll run into that, but we have those public boat ramps for the public to utilize.
Yeah, it's amazing. I travel around the country a lot, fishing tournaments, and everywhere you go, it's $10 here, $12 there, $7 for this, and you come to Devil's Lake and don't pay a launch fee. The only place that you pay a fee on the lake is at the state park, and that's not a launch fee. That's a state park entrance fee. So it is kind of nice to be able to come here and fish and utilize the resource and do it free of charge. Pretty proud to say that our community has found a way to do that. I know it's been talked about a lot over the years, changing that.
Yep.
But between our club and the Lake Access Committee and the businesses in town, we've always found a way to come up with the funds to keep the ramps safe, secure, up to date, easy to use, and not have to charge people to do it. So hopefully we can do that for a long time.
I hope so too. And for those of you that coming up this winter that are doing like more of the permanent style ice castles, those kind of things, there is a place called Woodland Resort. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. They do some plowed roads out there, and I don't know if it's like $15 or whatever to get on the roads, but another good option. So if we have years where we're starting to get some snow right now and travel has been a little bit more interesting, you at least have those options to get your permits out. And Devil's Lake's a fun place where you can get a permit out on a walleye spot, kind of like we are now, a little more structure based. Use that as a hub place, and then take your portables and start searching for perch afterwards, and just kind of create an all-day fun event out there on the ice. I don't know why that fish hasn't come back yet.
Well, I didn't have a minnow head anymore, so I wonder if I didn't shake it a little too hard,
or did he just come up?
And he got a snack.
I should probably check mine then.
No, that goes. Once you get your belly full, it's kind of hard to... Nope, you're good.
I'm good still. Well, what the heck. So is there anything else you would like to add on the guiding perspective, President of Lake Region Anglers?
No, just invite everybody up that's watching. If you live in Devil's Lake, I don't need to tell you how good we have it. Very, very fortunate to have a city of about 7,500 people literally walking distance from the shore of Devil's Lake. So it's pretty unique that way. Everything you need is here. If you're from out of town, come up, visit. If you have questions about where to fish, what to use, and you're afraid to ask anyone else, I've got no horse in the ice fishing race. I'll be glad to help you out. If you want to know what I would use or what I would bring or where I might stay or anything like that, again, you can contact me.
Yep.
My website, my Facebook page, my contact information's all on the Chamber website. I think you'll find that that North Dakota nice thing does run true here. It's not uncommon when you're out fishing, especially in the middle of the day, things get slow, to get a knock on the side of your fish house. Hey,
how's it going?
You guys catching any? It got slow for us. And I know people that have made lifelong friends because of a conversation sitting out on the middle of 6 Mile Bay in the middle of a day, not catching any fish.
Yep.
So come on up, give it a try. We'll be glad to help you out and reach out to us. We'll tell you all we can to make your trip the best possible.
That's what we're here for. Does anyone out there listening right now, following along, have any questions for us? If not, we're going to probably do a little moving.
Yeah, we probably should get serious about this beating Joe Henry thing.
I gotta tally these up a little more, and we got to get Joe shaking a little more in his boots.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him.